Okay, guys, I was walking down the toy aisle, as I am prone to do, and I found something that I had never even heard of before. So I was walking past the Star Wars things in Walmart, and I turned around and I looked behind me and noticed, hidden behind a post, something that had the Star Wars logo on it. And so I got closer and I found something here. This is called Star Wars Science Excavations. I looked a little closer, and inside of this little crate, it's kind of a blind box situation, but the idea here is that this crate, it looks like the crate that they gave Han Solo his money in Episode 4. Inside of here, look at these clear instructions. I appreciate these clear instructions. Step 1, open it. Step 2, excavate. It's hard to read that backwards. Step 3, create. So in here, I am going to find one of 6 different alien skulls from the Star Wars universe. This is really cool. So starting over here by my nose, see that? You have a Rhodian. Is it Rhodian or Rodian? I've always said Rodian, but I think that it's actually Rhodian. There's a Rhodian skull. There's a Trandoshan skull. There's a Hutt skull. Down here, there's a Gamorrean skull. The non-scientific sounding monkey lizard skull, like Salacious Crumb from Jabba's palace. And then the one that made me want to buy this and check it out, the Zabrak skull. Now, I don't know what's in here. I bought 2 of them so that my odds of finding this Zabrak skull would go up. I'd also be happy with the Trandoshan skull, and even the Hutt skull looks kind of cool, even though I never knew that Hutts had skeletons. I always assumed that they didn't. But let's open this thing up, because I want to see what we have in here. I'll open 2, and I'll walk you through the process with me. Let's check it out. Alright, so here is our first container. Again, the instructions. Step 1, open it up. Step 2, excavate. Step 3, create. Excavate. I think I'm going to dump it out on the table, is what it looks like. So, let's start to peel this open. And we'll see what kind of skull we've got here. How do I get this off? There we go. We're going to rip right through our instructions. Okay, so here's the container. Side note before I start, this thing's pretty sweet, and if I was the type of person who set up like a diorama when I was displaying action figures, this would be a pretty sweet little detail to include there. Instructions. Guess what, Star Wars fans? You're going to be learning about science, paleontology, fossils. Did you know the largest dinosaur fossil was found in 2012? Argentinosaurus. Look at this bad boy. That is straight out of the Jurassic era. Actually, I don't know that. Excavation, so you're learning all about science. You're seeing, a kid looks at this and he says, that is not what Gamorrean guards look like. Well, guess what, kid? That's not what gorillas look like, but it is. So here are pretty sweet comparisons of the Star Wars creatures from the movies and their skulls, and then real-life creatures and their skulls. Sorry, kids, if you didn't expect to learn, tough luck, you're learning. Did you know that Zabraks have angry-looking skulls? You better believe it. Now, let's see. Hutt skulls. Didn't know they had skulls. Thought they were just big, squishy guys. Okay, let's see what this is. There's another insert here. This is going to be how to assemble the pieces of the skull that you find. There's a faceplate and a jawbone for each one, and then some sort of connector that makes it look like, in some cases at least, that the jaw will be able to hinge on a pivot point over here. So, keep these instructions for future reference. Do not discard by penalty of law. Now, cardboard insert, and oh my, this is not regular colored sand. This is a weird sort of bluish, greenish gray. I was wondering what the sand would be like. And now I know. So, I guess, do I dump it out? Does that spoil the fun? Ooh, it's kind of like clay. Oh my goodness. Well, I can tell right away what kind of skull I have, and it's one of the cooler ones. I just didn't want that monkey lizard skull, I think, or the Greedo skull. I could regret saying that out loud. I might get that in my next one. So here is the faceplate of this hut. Guys, I gotta admit, this is really fun. Did that sound sarcastic? Because I'm being serious. So I have some sand stuck in a hole that looks like it's an important hole. We've got some sand stuck in a couple of these crevices. All right, let me set this aside right here. Our back piece looks like it goes like that. Now we're gonna see what it takes to put these all together. Is there a certain order in which I have to do it? I don't know. This looks like it could be a skull all of its own, but it's just the back of this guy. Okay. I'm thinking that I can... Oh, look, it's where his brain goes. We're covering up the brain hole. I gotta flip it this way. Now, there's still some sand stuck in here. So I'm not gonna put this in my pocket, or it's gonna come back and bite me later. This is not going in all that well. Let me try. I'm sure I've got it right. Oh, there we go. So it doesn't lock in that tight. It just kind of sunk in there. It didn't snap in exactly. Let's get the extra sand out of this hole. I need a toothpick or something. Did not come prepared for this. These are going to snap in. You can kind of see by the way this is designed that it's supposed to pop in there and stay popped in pretty good. And then in the end, I've just got some cool sand to play with. This stuff feels very familiar. It wants to melt out of my hand. It's not coming to me what it's like, but is it some kind of candy? It feels very foamy when it's not packed tightly. And so it reminds me almost of like a Newtonian fluid where when you put pressure on it, it wants to look like a solid, at least for a few seconds, and then it falls apart. So that's pretty fun. All right. My hole where I'm supposed to snap this is full of sand. And this one's not full of sand, but it feels like it's going to be a pain to snap this in here. Anyway, that does not want to go. All right, drawback of this toy, you're going to need an adult and maybe a blowtorch to get this together. All right, well, I'll tell you what. I'll keep trying with that as soon as I feel like it. And I'm going to open up my next one, just in case the sand is a different color. I think I'm going to separate this sand out. Let's push all of this away. And let's open up the next one. I already cheated and I already started to open this one up, but I don't know what it looks like. Ooh, the sand is a different color. That means, hopefully, that I didn't get a duplicate skull. I hate when I buy two of something and get the same thing. So this is a new color of sand. And let's see if I can get it to come out. Crossing my fingers for that Zabrak skull. Zabrak skull, baby! Well, I don't think it's the Zabrak. It's got some cool, sharp teeth. If I had to guess at this moment, I would say the Gamorrean. But I don't know for sure. sand. The sand is really fun, actually. And we definitely have the Gamorrean. And the skull of a Gamorrean looks like the skull of some horrible demon. So that's fun. Turns out that they look like a pig when they're alive, then some awful demonic thing when they're dead. Okay, now this one looks more complicated. I wonder if I have to put these together in any certain order. And the sand, man, the sand really gets in there. I believe I can just snap, oops, I had it right the first time. I think I can just snap this together like that. That is cool. This is a much cooler skull than the hut. Didn't get that Zabrak like I wanted, but this was only $5. Maybe I go back and get the other. Another couple of boxes. Sand in that hole, it's gonna make this tough. I wonder if it'll just kind of force itself out if I force something else in. Or if it doesn't matter and I just leave it like this. Now there's still sand in here. This guy's got a lot more crevices than that hut. And so I'm gonna have to take some sort of a brush or toothpick and get the rest of this out. But that guy is cool. It reminds me a little bit of a cat. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But that's how these things work. XCavations creature crates. They were hard to find. If you really like this, you might have to ask an employee or just look around maybe by the putty or by the there are popular new squishing gels that you can play with, and if memory serves, this was close to all of those. So there is our Gamorrean, and for some reason with different colored sand, our hut. Now let me just fake that I'm putting his jaw on. It's going to be a nightmare to put it on. But it looks pretty cool, and you can really tell that it's supposed to be a hut once I fake it. If we go like that, that's what your skull looks like. So that's pretty fun. It doesn't hinge. I wonder if some of the other ones do. These ones do not. So that's not lucky for me. But that's what we got here. Let me know what you think in the comments, or if you have any questions. And of course, subscribe and share, and you might win my contest with that I have with my subscribers. When I hit 200 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away another toy, one that I've reviewed, and you can choose which one it is. Good luck to you on that, and we'll talk to you guys next time.